Hey, let's read some Kingfisher. We're on page 301, talking about levers and pulleys. We're starting to talk about simple machines. So there's a few other simple machines: gears, wheels and axles, inclined planes, aka ramps, and wedges. So today we're just focusing on levers and pulleys, but you'll hear about a few more. So please turn to 301 and read along with me. Levers and pulleys. Levers and pulleys are simple machines. A lever is a combination of a bar and a fulcrum. Fulcrum is a pivot point. So think about a seesaw. The middle that both sides are balanced on is a fulcrum, or a pivot point. Woo, I'm sliding all around here. Okay, that's what I get for wearing slippery pants. Okay. A pulley has a rope that passes over one or more wheels. Effort applied to one part of a lever produces a force on a load at another part. Again, think about a seesaw. So if you put pressure or put effort on one side of a seesaw, it produces a force on a load at the other. So pretend there's like a box on the other. Well, more logical. Pretend there's another person on the other side of the seesaw. If you put your effort going down on one side of the seesaw, that'll make the load, aka person, on the other side of the seesaw go up. Force will be on them. Levers can act as force multipliers. The force that moves the load can be much greater than the effort applied to the lever. So sometimes you can put a little effort on one side of the lever and it'll create a much greater force on the other side. For example, a long, thin metal crowbar can act as a lever and move enormous boulders that are too heavy to pick up unaided. Two or more pulleys can also work together to multiply the force of the effort. Multiple pulleys not only multiply force, they also change the direction of the effort applied to one end of the rope. Let's focus on levers. A lever moves around a fixed point called the fulcrum. The distances of the load and the effort from the fulcrum affect how well the lever multiplies the force. A coin can be used as a lever to remove the lid on a can of paint. One edge of the coin fits under the lid, and the rim of the can acts as a fulcrum. Pushing down on the free edge of the coin usually opens the lid. If the lid is too tight to open with a coin, the handle of a spoon will usually work. The effort acts farther from the fulcrum. So the free end of the spoon moves a greater distance and applies a greater force at the end of the spoon under the lip of the lid. That's a lot to think about, but basically, so if you had a short seesaw, like a really short seesaw, like maybe, so like the middle of the seesaw to you on one end is like a foot, so like really short seesaw. It would be a lot harder for you to try to put force going down than it is if you had a really long seesaw. It wouldn't take much force at all. Okay, so the longer your lever is can affect how much force you have to put in to get the other side to go up or to exert force. Things also change when you move around where the middle is, where the fulcrum is. So if it's not the same length on both sides, that changes things as well. I think I've linked to a video on Wednesday that'll make this all much easier to understand. Okay, single pulleys. A pulley is a wheel that turns on an axle. Okay, there's pictures of pulleys down at the bottom. There's a groove around the rim of the pulley wheel that holds a rope. Pulling on one end of the rope moves the load attached to the other end. When one pulley wheel is used, the force at the load is the same as the effort pulling on the rope. A single pulley does not multiply the effort, so there is no mechanical advantage. The direction of the force moving the load is different from the direction of the effort. So if you have just one single pulley, the effort you put in is the force you get out. Okay, but let's talk about multiple pulleys. When two pulleys work together, One is attached to a high fixed support, such as a beam, and the other is attached to the load. One end of the rope is attached to the fixed pulley. One end of the rope is attached to the fixed pulley. The rope passes under the load pulley and over the fixed pulley. Pulling on the free end of the rope supplies the effort to lift the load. Using two pulleys halves the effort required to lift a load. So an effort of 100 newtons can lift a load of 200 newtons. So the mechanical advantage of a two-pulley system is 2. As the load moves 3 feet, the effort moves 7 feet. Since the work done is force times distance, the work put into the pulley, 100 times 2, 200 joules, is the same as the work done on the load, 200 times 1, 200 joules. In general, the mechanical advantage of a pulley system is equal to the number of pulleys the rope passes over. All that to say, more than one pulley working together means you can put in less effort to do more work, basically. So with one pulley, the amount of effort you put in is the amount of force you get out. With more than one pulley, the amount of effort you put in will create more force on the other side. Okay, so that's a lot, but basically think of levers like seesaws, and pulleys. The image I get in my head is one of like a tree house where you need, like, somebody can put something in a bucket at the bottom and you can use a pulley to pull up the bucket to your tree house. That sounds really nice right about now. A tree house with a little pulley system. People can put little things in and you can pull up to the top of your tree house. I like a tree house right now. Anywho, neither here nor there. Draw me a picture of a tree house where I can live and live out my days. Have a good day.